Hey, good morning. Happy Sunday. We got some talking to do. Let's go. Let's go. Hi, son. Hi, son. Hi. Look at there. I'm trying to actually stay in the sun. See, it's going to mess me up. Anyway, actually, this is good because, anyway. Hey, that bright hand. How y'all doing? Y'all doing okay? Good, good, good. Well, I hope everybody had a great week. My apologies for last week. I had to, for first, 7.5 minutes, all you hear is, I told you this is live. No edits, no nothing. I don't even have a sound crew. I don't have no PR, no public relations person. I ain't got none of that. Just me, authentic. William, me, Will, me, Wormos, all that shit. Sorry, I get turned. Oh, I feel stressed now. So what's up? So this is, should I get into that now? No, I probably won't, but I will get into this. I want to thank everybody for watching my videos, especially the ones that have watched it for years. Seriously, I thank you. I don't get messages that, oh my gosh, I don't get tons of messages, oh my God, or even, I can't remember the last time I got a message where somebody was like, oh my gosh, I love your videos, but I kind of look at my views and I'm like, well, people are watching, so I guess it's making an impact. So let's give it up to Pandora and hope. So I hope that this has an impact on you. I hope that this helps you. I hope that you enjoy listening to me. Again, it's just keeping hope alive and shit. All right. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. We got a lot to talk about. I'm trying to make these shorter. So this is the Corpus Hermeticum. This is chapter 3 and 4. Chapter 3 is like literally 5 minutes long. So I'm like, I gotta go 3 and 4. We're going to talk about a lot in here. We're going to talk about the soul. We're going to continue to talk about the mind, right? We will continue to talk about the process of you rising and the functions of the mind. We also talked about 3 names. We love talking in threes, right? Real knowledge is in threes, right? Real knowledge is in threes, right? Real knowledge is in threes, right? I just said it 3 times, right? So, you probably heard me talk about these names. You probably heard Socrates talk about, shout out to Socrates. We're going to talk about him too. Socrates say these names. Plato and others of ancient Greece use this reference to God. They call it the good. Capital G. Capital G. All right. We also call this one the Father or Source. Right? Another name is to drop the O and we call it God. So we're going to talk about that God, the Father, and the good is the same. They have the same functions. All right. We're going to talk about that. We also have Asclepius here. Okay. Now, look, I know you probably heard of Hippocrates, right? You got Socrates, you got Hippocrates, right? Hippocrates is the one that said, let food be thy what? Thy medicine. Okay. He is the father of medicine. Okay. I think people get this confused. He's the father of medicine. All right. So shout out to Hippocrates. All right. Now, when you talk about Asclepius, all right, if you go to any medical building around the world, in any country, in any place, it will have a rod and it will have 1 snake, not 2 snakes. Shout out to Hermes and the Caduceus, but I'm talking about the one that has 1 rod and 1 snake. That's called the rod of Asclepius. Okay? Because Asclepius is the god of medicine, not the father of medicine and healing. He's the god of medicine and healing. Hippocrates is the father of medicine and healing. You with me there? All right. Lastly, and then we're going to get into it. Let me tell you. Asclepius is the son of Apollo. Apollo is who you see shining on me right now. Stop thinking of Apollo as a person. Apollo is the sun. Okay? The god of music. Shout out to the 9 muses. And we talked about the 9 gates in the Christian series, right? Right? So anytime you hear music, that's the sun. If your ears was open in a divine way, that's all you would hear all day is music. So I know people get into making up fears in their head, thinking that, oh, I don't want to listen to 432 and they're hurting our souls and stuff with all these bad frequencies and music. Hey, stop. The sun is music. There's nothing bad that comes from the sun. All right. Some of its rays are not that penetrating and some of them are. Okay. That doesn't mean that the rays that don't penetrate harder are wrong or evil. They're just at a lower type of penetration because they have a lower function. See what I'm saying? Higher frequencies and higher ways of listening to music like binary beats have higher functions. Okay, it doesn't mean that if you listen to binary beats or a different frequency of megahertz that you're better than anybody else. You're dealing in an operation in different functions. If that doesn't make sense, it will kind of make sense as I talk through this. So y'all know I like talking. So hey, thank you for coming to see my nipples again. I appreciate it. I do. I try to promote men being sexy, especially over 40 and 41. You know, some girls don't even know what a sexy man look like. They've been around their husband or fat boyfriend and got the fat tummy and big unhealthy body. Hey, I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? So I try to promote health. And I'm still, what am I? I'm almost, I'm going into 3 months of not eating cooked food, still practicing on becoming fully raw. And of course, vegetarian, vegan for the last 5 years. It's a real temple. Ain't nothing in this temple right now but water. And a couple bananas. Yeah, real stuff. Anyway, let me go ahead and get started. This is chapter 3, which is called the Holy Sermon. Again, the beginning part is only like 5 minutes. And then we're going to get into the key. Lastly, he's going to be talking to Tat during this whole live video that you're about to hear. Tat is one of his pupils, right? The Kabbalion with 3 initiates. You got Ammon, Asclepius, and Tat. Okay. I'm part of the Tat Brotherhood, of course. So this means a lot to me because we'll be talking about Tat a lot, and that's where the word tattoos and stuff come from. Shout out to my tattoo Gnosis. Yeah, baby. All right, okay. I'll stop. I'll be so turned. Here we go.
Thy man that would be sanctified with you.
Hey.
As you have given him all the power.
No.
Chapter 3, the Holy Sermon.
There we go.
The glory of all things, God, and that which is divine, and the divine nature, the beginning of things that are. God and the mind, and nature, and matter, movement, and necessity, and the end and change. For there was in the chaos an infinite darkness in the abyss or bottomless depth and water.
So the Holy Sermon is basically giving you a summary, okay? You remember it's giving you a head, all right, of what we went over in Promandris. Just really quickly. It's giving you an overhead of what we just went over, okay? I also want to say, you know that smoky darkness that we talked about, that I saw that scared the shit out of me? Please watch The Gods of Egypt. Watch The Gods of Egypt. The smoky monster that Ra is fighting in the movie is the same one I'm talking about. Really watch the whole movie, and it explained the part about Pymander or Promandris that we went over last time. All right? It's right in front of your face, been in front of your face. It's okay. You're just now seeing it. Here we go.
And a subtle in spirit, intelligible in power.
Yes.
And there went out the holy light.
The word.
And the elements were coagulated from the sand out of the moist substance.
They were.
And all the gods distinguished the nature full of seeds.
Seeds to grow.
And when all things were determined and unraveled,
seeds of nature.
The light things were divided on high.
The light.
And the heavy things were founded upon the moist sand.
The dark.
All things being terminated or divided by fire.
Shout out to fire.
And being sustained or hung up by the Spirit, they were so carried.
Fire.
And the heaven was seen in 7 circles.
Whoa. Hold up. We talking about 7s again. Damn, we've been talking about 7s for the last few weeks in different books. All right, we got 7 circles. So let me explain some stuff because we're going to talk about how, now this is one of the oldest books ever written. And it says that the world is a sphere surrounded by air. Listen to what I'm saying, flat earthers. Okay, I'm sorry to ruin what you've been on. I'm trying to tell you what was written, like way before all of this you can even think of. Okay, all right. Just let me explain. The reason why they're able to put it in a type of technology and show you the 7 circles is because they've already heard it explained. That doesn't mean that they saw it. Doesn't mean that they've been up there. All right. Remember, it's 7 heavens, and then you have a firmament, and then you have the realm of the stars. You see what I'm saying? And then the 7 circles. All right. Which are operations, which are wheels. Like your wheels is a type of operation and a function of your car. All right. So shout out to the 7 circles. Shout out to the 7 angels of the unknown father, that we talked about in the Christian series. Shout out to the 7 angels of the, earthly mother. Yeah, we talked about that. Oh, and shout out to the 7-fold power. Just gotta do my shout outs, man. Got a lot of divine beings.
And the gods were seen in their ideas of the stars, with all their signs.
The stars.
And the stars were numbered with the God in them.
They were.
And the sphere that was bordered with air, carried about in a circular motion by the Spirit.
So the sphere that was bordered with air went in a circular motion by the Spirit of God. That sphere that he just mentioned is the world, which is the second one to come into being. You with me? Everybody say, well, why are all these planets is Earth so important? Just told you. It was light, and then the world, which is Earth. It's that divine and it's that important. Let me stop talking.
God. And every God, by his internal power, did that which was commanded him.
Yep.
And there were made 4-footed things and creeping things,
dogs, cats,
and such as live in the water,
yep,
and such as fly,
fish,
and every fruitful seed,
bird,
and grass,
yep,
and the flowers of all plants,
bananas,
all which had sown themselves the seeds of regeneration.
Yeah.
As also the generations of men, to the knowledge of the divine works,
yep,
and a lively or working testimony of nature, and a multitude of men,
all of us,
and the dominion of all things under heaven, and the knowledge of all good things, to be increased and increasing,
we heard this,
and multiplied in multitude.
We heard this.
And every soul in flesh, by the wonderful workings of the gods and the circles, to the beholding of heaven, the gods' divine works, the operations of nature, and for signs of good things, and the knowledge of the divine power, and to find out every cunning work of good things.
Yes.
So it begins to live in them.
It does.
And to be wise according to the operation of the course of the circular gods.
The circular gods.
And to be resolved into that which shall be great monuments and the memory of the cunning works done upon earth.
Yep.
Leaving them to be read by the darkness of times.
By the stars.
And every generation of living flesh, of fruit, seed, and all handicrafts, though they may be lost, must of necessity be renewed by the renovation of the gods.
A reset.
And of the nature of a circle moving in number. For it is a divine thing that every worldly temperature should be renewed by nature.
A reset.
For in that which is divine is nature also established.
From that which is divine is nature also established. Listen to what I'm saying. From that which is divine is nature also established. From that which is divine is nature also established. So when people make up fears that the government use frequencies to bring the hurricane Helene, and hurricanes are part of nature, and nature comes from the divine, and you say that no, nature didn't do it and the divine didn't do it, the governments did it. It's ignorant, not stupid, not wrong, not evil. It's ignorant because you're ignoring the fact that I just said that nature is a divine thing, not a man-made physical thing. And to think that man-made physical material things can have an effect on something divine like nature or the divine itself is ignorance in itself. Doesn't mean that you're right. Doesn't mean that you're wrong. It means you're ignorant. You're ignoring what I'm saying and the truth. Here we go.
Yesterday's speech, O Aesculapius, I dedicated to you.
Aesculapius.
This day it is fit to dedicate to Tot.
Oh, Tot.
Because it is an epitome of those general speeches which were spoken to him.
Thank you, Tot.
God, therefore, and the Father, and the good, O Tot, have the same nature, or rather, also the same act and operation.
That makes sense.
For there is one name or appellation of nature or increase, which concerns things changeable, and another about things unchangeable.
That makes sense.
And about things immovable. That is to say, things divine and mundane.
Divine and mundane.
Every one of that which himself will have to so be. But action or operation is of another thing.
Another thing.
Or elsewhere,
okay.
As we have taught in other things, divine and mundane.
We have.
Which must here also be understood.
It must be understood.
For his operation or act is his will, and his essence, to will all things to be.
This makes sense.
For what is God and the Father, and the good, but the being of all things that yet are not, and the existence itself of things that are.
That are.
This is God.
This.
This is the Father.
This.
This is the good.
I said
by which no thing is present or approaches.
Nope.
For the world and the Son, which is also a Father by participation.
It said the world and the Son, which is also a Father by participation. It said the world and the Son, which is also a Father by participation. It said the world and the Son, which is also a Father by participation. Okay? Because it participates in the same function and operation of spreading light. It functions in a physical, material way of spreading light that we can see with our senses. Okay? So, I mean, it's just weird how sun worship is looked at as Luciferian or evil when we just said that, when we just went over how important the sun is. But anyway, let's continue to listen. Here we go.
Is not for all that equally the cause of good.
Right.
And of life to living creatures. And if this be so, he is altogether constrained by the will of the good.
Yep.
Without which it is not possible either to be or to be begotten or made.
Son.
But the Father is the cause of his children.
Yes.
Who hath a will both to sow and nourish that which is.
So we just talked about everything, including us as being children of Source. We talked about this last week. I said, I don't know its name. Even though us refer to it as three names, God, Father, and the good. We talked about this. The only way that we can describe this thing that is an incomprehensible type of something to you is to know that we are his children, as above, so below. When you birth a child and that child has parents, maybe that'll be a way humans can understand. If we call God the Father, we call the Holy Spirit the Mother, and we call the Word the Son, and then they will see in their families what we're talking about, because this knowledge and this stuff we're going to talk about it. He's going to talk about it to Tat is unspeakable. We talked about it last week. He's going to talk about that you can't hear it. But with the little hearing that you do have, with the little garment that you're able to grasp, shout out to the lady that grasped the garment of Jesus to heal her problem with blood, but the little part that you can grasp of the hem of the garment of Source is to know that you are its child. Therefore, you don't have to work. You see what I'm saying? If I have a daughter, my daughter doesn't have to work to prove to anybody or me that she's my child. She's automatically my child. She doesn't have to come to me every Sunday and pray. She doesn't have to make sacrifice to me. She doesn't have to do all that. She's automatically my child. We'll digress. I think they got my point, especially the people in church right now. You already there. But hey, you want to go to church every Sunday? Fuck it, go to church. Here we go.
By the Son. For good is always active or busy in making.
Yeah.
And this cannot be in any other, but in him that takes nothing.
Good is
and yet wills
good.
All things to be.
Yes.
For I will not say, O Tot, making them.
No.
For he that makes is defective in much time.
Right.
In which sometimes he makes not.
Uh-huh.
As also of quality and quantity.
Right.
For sometimes he makes those things that have quantity and quality. And sometimes the contrary.
Right.
But God is the Father and the good, in being all things. For he both will be this, and is it.
And is it.
And yet, all this for himself and him that can see it.
That can see it.
For all things else are for this. It is the property of good to be known.
Yes.
This is the good, O Tot.
This.
He said, you have filled us, O Father, with sight both good and fair.
Don't be
and the eye of mind is almost become more holy by the sight.
The eye of mind, I forgot to bring that up last week. Jesus mentioned that. He said, if you can see by the eye of mind, you see clear. Because see, if you see with the eye of mind, if Jesus said it last week. He said, if you show somebody some seeds and they don't have the eye of mine, all they see is some seeds and they probably throw them away. But if you show a gardener with the eye of mind of the nature of the earth some seeds, that gardener is going to be like, oh my gosh, I can grow some watermelons. I can grow some fucking cucumbers with this. So I know people are just like, you're just another live streamer. You're just doing videos like everybody else. Why do you want to do the same thing everybody else? They don't see what the light's mind that I do, because I know that this is more than just live streaming. I know that the people on my Facebook page weren't just on my Facebook page by accident. I know what can happen when I continue to water. I know it will continue to happen if I continue to protect and help put guards around myself and everyone that is hearing the vibration of my music. I know what can happen with the power of the sun and water and air and earth. Therefore, I see different from somebody that needs millions of views or thousands upon thousands of views. All I need is 10 views. That's all I do it for, because I got 10 fingers and 10 toes. Everything else is extra credit. Stop talking so much, Will. Let them listen. Sorry. I get turned.
I replied, I wonder not at it, for the sight of good is not like the beam of the sun.
Listen.
Which, being of a fiery, shining brightness, makes the eye blind by its excessive light that gazes upon it.
No, it doesn't.
Rather the contrary.
It does.
For it enlightens.
Listen.
And so much increases the light of the eye.
That's what the sun really does. Increases the light of the eye. But it's listen to what it's saying. It's not talking about the effect of a sun ray. It's talking about the effect of the light, the actual light. So don't think that you're just going to go sun gaze and now all of a sudden you know everything in the world. Please don't think that. It's a different type of power that comes in. But let's continue to listen.
Any man is able to receive the influence of this intelligible clarity.
See?
For it is more swift and sharp to pierce, and innocent or harmless withal.
I told you.
And full of immortality. And they are capable and can draw any store of this spectacle and sight, do many times fall asleep from the body, into this most fair and beauteous vision. These things Celsius and Saturn are progenitors obtained unto.
Hey, hold up. We got people talking about they invented the word Celsius. And then we act like they just discovered Saturn. I just said this is written thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years ago. We was already talking about Celsius. And we was already talking about Saturn. Hey, I'm just saying. Here we go.
He said, I would we also, Father, could do so.
We can't.
I replied, I wish we could, O son. But for the present, we are less intent to the vision, and cannot yet open the eyes of our mind to behold the incorruptible and incomprehensible beauty of that good.
You see what I'm saying now? I know you wish you can see it and comprehend it. This is Hermes talking to Tat. You never heard Hermes talk, have you? This is him talking, bro. Tat is asking him questions. That's why he said, I said. Why would he say, I said? That means he wrote this shit. Here we go.
Then we shall see it, when we have nothing at all to say of it.
When you have nothing at all to say of it, you'll see it. I said this last week. Stop thinking that we keep secrets because we don't want you to know something. Stop thinking that the people are awakened, the people that are spiritual, you, the people that think about you, that you keep secrets, that you don't want to tell them everything that you know, they can't understand it. They can't even hear what you're saying. You see what I'm saying? And then when they can't hear what you're saying, when they can't speak what you're saying, when you get to a higher vibration, this stuff right here is wordless. I'm leading you there. We talked about this last week. You get to the wordless by the word. You get to the unheard by the heard. So, I mean, I don't want to keep it secret. I don't want to be hermetically sealed. But I have no choice. Because it's nothing that can't be heard with human ears. It's nothing that can be seen with human eyes. It's nothing that can be spoken with a human mouth. Well, I think they get your point. Oh, sorry. I'll be going hard, bro. Here we go.
For the knowledge of it is a divine silence.
I told you.
And the rest of all senses.
I just said that.
For neither can he that understands that understand anything else.
I can't.
Nor he that sees it see anything else.
I can't.
Nor hear any other thing.
I can't.
Nor even move the body.
I can't even move.
For shining steadfastly upon and round the whole mind, it enlightens all the soul.
Oh my goodness.
And losing it from the bodily senses and motions, it draws it from the body and changes it wholly into the essence of God.
Yeah.
For it is possible for the soul, O son, to be deified while it yet lodges in the body of the man.
Now hold the fuck up. It is possible for the soul to be deified while it is in the body of a person. It is possible for the soul to be deified while it is in the body of a person. Shout out to Buddha. I believe he was deified. I believe Jesus was deified. I believe many people were deified. I believe these are just the, Muhammad, I believe these are just the top people that you need to give to the masses. But as the masses become not the masses and they become awakened, some of them out the masses become awakened, they're going to find way more masters than just the three that I named. And then once they continue to grow, they're going to find out that those three masters and the other masters that they found that we named is themselves. And then, sorry, I get turned. Here we go.
If it contemplates the beauty of the good.
Yeah.
He asked, how do you mean deifying, Father?
Listen.
I replied, there are differences of every soul. He said, but how do you again divide the changes? I replied, have you not heard in the general speeches that from one soul of the universe are all those souls which in the world are tossed up and down and severally divided?
Here we go.
Of these souls there are many changes.
Yep.
Some into a more fortunate estate, and some quite the contrary.
So let's kind of talk about what he's going to say so they can keep up. So we talked about this last week. I probably said it wrong. Let me try to say it right this time. I said, this is what I should have said. I hope I said it right. I can't remember. But the insects, creeping and crawling things, have souls. This was written thousands of years ago. This is from Hermes. I done told y'all, if you have a problem with this and you don't believe this, go take it up with Hermes. I dare you. Don't take it up with me. I'm just a messenger of Hermes. All right. So insects and crawling things, they have souls. Their souls go into watery things, fish and all of that type of shit. All right. Even algae and all of that. All those have souls. Bacteria have souls. When you look at them under a microscope, they breathe and moving, living and dying. They have souls. Okay. All the stuff that's in the water goes into the earth, okay, becomes four-footed beings that also have souls. So you can't tell me animals don't have soul. We went through Marcus Aurelius already that says animals have soul. Don't get me started on this vegan shit on how animals got soul, because I get turned and I start getting triggered and shit. However, that's the below. Okay, you're not from the below. Well, you're partly from the below, but you're also partly from the above. Morally of the above. Remember, the things on high, right, was the light things. The things below was the heavy, dark things, right? But remember, we said last time in this same Corpus Hermeticum that you're the only one that's twofold, both immortal and immortal. Okay? So all your body, senses, and all of that shit comes from the process that I just described. Okay? All your thinking, your swiftness of thinking and all that shit, how you can drive 70 miles per hour on a cell phone and still talk on the phone while switching lanes and you don't know shit about physics. Yeah, all that power and all that shit comes from flying things. I believe in dragons, so I'm going to say dragons, birds, all of that shit. All right? Every type of bird, every type of fowl, all right, gets changed into a human. Okay? Okay? Listen to what I'm saying, because you're about to get triggered once you hear it, probably. Especially if you go to church and shit and think demons are evil. Okay? Humans hold fast to immortality, which means they want to be immortal. Okay? Therefore, they're turned into demons. Listen to what I'm saying. A demon, as we described in the symposium, we went live over the whole book by Plato that includes Socrates. We talked about, and it was described in there by the woman that was describing to Socrates what love was on how love, because everybody talking about love and light. You don't even know love is a demon, or a daemon is how they spell it. And a daemon is a entity that is basically that is mortal and immortal, right? But just exists in another type of existence above physical. Okay, so just because you die in the physical don't mean that when you rise, you're not going to be mortal anymore. You're still going to be half mortal and immortal. That's why you're going to be a type of demon. And then you rise into the fixed stars. Okay, you have a fixed stars, and then you have the wandering stars. All right, if your mind is pure, you go into the fixed stars. If your mind is fucked up and not good, you go into the wandering. You wonder. All right, okay. Remember, you're a star. We went over this in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. I'm just putting all the correspondence together on how all these books correspond that we've already went live over the years. Here we go.
They which are of creeping things are changed into those of watery things.
I said that.
And those of things living in the water to those of things living upon the land.
I said that.
And airy ones are changed into men.
I said that.
And human souls that lay hold of immortality and are changed into demons.
I said that.
And so they go on into the sphere or region of the fixed God. For there are two choirs or companies of gods.
I said that.
One of them that wander, and another of them that are fixed.
See?
And so this is the perfect glory of the soul.
This. And this is how, I'm going to say it quick. This is not New Age. Nothing. Astrology is not New Age. Studying the stars is not New Age. Understanding the planets ain't nothing new. Ain't no goddamn planet. It's not no fucking planet that was discovered in the 1800s or 1700s, 1600s. This shit was discovered way before we even start keeping up with fucking time on Earth. Just want to make it crystal clear for you. Hey, matter of fact, shout out to Krista. She tastes good. Sorry, Hermes. Sorry. That would get me in trouble, bro.
Entering into the body of a man, if it continues to do evil, shall neither taste of immortality, nor is partaker of the good.
I said that.
But being drawn back the same way, it returns into degeneration. And this is the condemnation of an evil soul.
You remember I talked about, this is about regeneration. This is a book on how to regenerate yourself. But if you do not regenerate yourself with the light of a pure mind, you will fall back into degeneration. Now, listen to what I'm saying. I'm open to reincarnation being real. I'm also open to what Hermes is about to say, is that it's not real. He's about to say the way that you're punished is not by going into a brute animal, because Source will not allow you as a living being from Source to be in something so brutish and unintelligent. Okay? But what the soul does, it goes into messed up bodies. Because just because your body died, remember, your body is still a body. It's just not physical anymore. So it goes into bad bodies, and the mind is still there. The mind makes you do bad and good, depending on where you're at. Okay? If you want to be a murderer, a drug dealer, a corporate money slinger, treat people like they don't want to, like you don't want to be treated and all of that, the mind is going to fuck with you and make you do evil shit. That's what makes you do evil shit. It's not a double. It's the same one. Same light. If contrary, you're about kindness, treating others like you want to be treated, listening, full of grace, compassionate, empathetic, then the mind furthers that. See what I'm saying? He says it better.
And the wickedness of the soul is ignorance, for the soul that knows nothing of the things that are, neither the nature of them, nor that which is good, but is blinded,
here we go,
rushes and dashes against the bodily passions. And unhappy as it is, in not knowing itself, it serves strange bodies and evil ones,
I told you,
carrying the body as a burden.
Listen.
And not ruling it, but being ruled by it.
So this is where this vegan stuff come from. Because if you're ruled by your body, every time you smell some food, you're going to go eat because your body rules you. Every time you feel hungry, you're going to go eat because your body rules you. See what I'm saying? Stop being ruled by your body. Same with sex. Right when you feel that fire in that pussy or in that penis, you up, I gotta fuck something, I gotta get fucked. No, hey, stop. You don't need penis, you don't need to stick your penis in nowhere. And you don't need no penis stuck in you. Stop. Sorry. Sorry, let me stop. I'm gonna get in trouble.
It's the mischief of the soul.
That's the mischief of the soul.
On the contrary, the virtue of the soul is knowledge.
Yes.
For he that knows is both good and religious, and already divine.
That's knowledge. I'm already
He asked, but who is such a man, O Father?
Listen.
I replied, he that neither speaks nor hears many things,
He that neither speaks nor hear many things. I say to myself a lot, I know y'all think I don't, but I do. All right. I listen to meditation music more than any other music that I listen to. I know y'all see my stories, and I know every word to all of these rap songs, every word to all of these rock songs, classical rock songs, all of this. It's not what I mainly listen to. That's what I used to mainly listen to. That's just me exercising my dark, because my dark is still here. See what I'm saying? I used to be really having a lot more contact with Young Money. So that's why I go live over. That's why I put Drake in my songs and stuff like that in stories. That's a part of my dark still exercising itself. Here we go.
Or he, O son, that hears two speeches or hearings, fights in the shadow.
So this, what you're listening to, when I get home from work, this is what I do. I study. I don't pay attention to all this shit that goes in my ears. That's why I'm saying stop paying attention to all this government conspiracy shit. You seeing and you're hearing too many things. That's why you can't even think. You got a gun on you. You got a taser. You got pepper spray. Your kids got pepper spray. They want a taser. They want a gun. You got a doorbell camera. You got an alarm on your car. You see what I'm saying? You think that you're in all this turmoil of evil. You think you're in all this turmoil of getting attacked. And you're not. But if you're a tormented soul, that's all you pay attention to. And that's why I get so triggered over posts on social media where everybody just talks about conspiracy theories every single day. I'm not judging them. I'm relaying a message. They think they're in hell, and they think that all this shit is fucking going on. That is how a soul is tormented. That's why you have nothing but people complaining and government conspiracies and shit. It's a lot of tormented souls here. The souls that have the light of the mind are few. So I'm not worried about all your conspiracy theories and the fact that you get all these views and make all this money off the views and all of this shit. Sorry.
For God and the Father in good is neither spoken nor heard.
I said that.
This being so in all things that are the senses, because they cannot be without them.
Right. But
knowledge differs much from the sense.
Knowledge.
For senses of things that surmount it.
Senses of things that surmount it, that means of things that surpass it.
Knowledge is the end of sense.
Knowledge is the end of sense.
Knowledge is the gift of God.
Yes.
For all knowledge is intangible.
Gnosis.
But uses the mind as an instrument.
Yes.
As the mind uses the body.
The mind. So knowledge uses the mind as an instrument. That's why I said what I'm speaking right now is my mind. It's the knowledge of myself that is using my mind as an instrument to speak to you. That's why I have to go back and watch my live videos and learn from them, because I have no idea what I'm saying. Here we go. Instrumentation. Here we go.
Both intelligible and material things go both of them into bodies.
Yes.
All physical things must exist in this contrary state of dichotomy. And it is.
So dichotomy is a type of above and below. Okay, everybody must exist in this. And I know you can't stand it, right? You got to always pee. You got to always shit. You got to always eat. You got to always drink. You got to satisfy your sexual pleasures. You can't just fucking not have sex. It's a natural thing that you're supposed to do. Even as a man, if we don't have sex, our heads start hurting and all kind of shit. Women call us dogs, whatever. I'll be going through going through pain when we don't have sex. You know what I'm saying? We need to hump something. Hump the couch. I like humping the bed, Sorry, I'm going too far, but still, you know what I'm saying? You have to exercise your dark. Nobody told you to not have sex. Nobody told you to not be lustful. Nobody told you to not eat a lot sometimes. You have to exercise that. Control it and keep it under control in moderation so it doesn't get out of control and you start losing your fucking mind of yourself to where it turns evil. Here we go.
Possible it should be otherwise.
It's impossible it should be otherwise.
He asked,
you have to.
Who, therefore, is this material God?
The world.
I replied, the fair and beautiful world.
Yes.
And yet it is not good.
No.
For it is material and easily corrupted.
It's corruptible.
Nay, it is the first of all corrupted things.
Right.
And the second of things that are.
I told you. It's the second of things that are created, but it's the first of corruptible things that is created. The first corruptible thing that was created was the world. Okay? The second of the things that are divine It's the world. Okay? Listen to what I'm saying. The world is neither good nor evil. It's not good because it's corruptible. It's not evil because it's immortal. Mankind is both good and evil because mankind is corruptible and mortal, yet still immortal. We exist in the three. Here we go.
And needy or wanting for something else. And it was once made, as always is, and is ever in generation, and made and continually generates physical things. For it is changeable, and every material motion is generation. But the intellectual stability moves the material motion after this manner. Because the world is a sphere, that is, a head, and above the head there is nothing material, as beneath the feet there is nothing intellectual. The whole universe is material. The mind is the head, and it is moved spherically, that is, like a head. Whatever, therefore, is joined or united to the membrane or film of the head, where the soul is.
Hold on, stop. Sorry. It's for flat earthers and shit. So it just said that the world is a sphere. It's just like a head, as above, so below. Your fucking head ain't flat, so the earth ain't flat. Period. Principal correspondence. Universal principle. Okay? And it said it turns just like a head. Turns. Oh, and it has a membrane. The insides of your head. The souls that are closest to the inside of the mind are full of soul. The ones that are farther away are full of body. They do everything they got to do with the body. The ones that's closer to the head of the mind, or the inside of the membrane of the mind, do things not really for the body. You know? Here we go.
Is immortal. And as in the soul of a made body, has the soul full of the body.
Yep, told you.
But those that are farther from that membrane have a body full of soul.
I just said that.
The whole is a living white, and therefore consists of both the material and intellectual.
It's a living white. Are we talking about white people? I'm so silly. It's not white as W-H-I-T-E. It's white as in W-I-G-H-T, which means a creature. All right? Which is both intellectual and not intellectual. All right? Here we go. It says it's a whole white, which means a whole creature. It's okay. I'm going to give you the written version so you can look the word up. Shout out to white people, though.
And the world is the first, and man is the second living thing after the world.
So, man is, the world is the first living thing, like I said, that was living, but we are the second living thing that was created. Here we go.
But the first of things that are mortal.
We are.
And therefore has whatsoever benefit of the soul all the others have. And yet for all of this, he is not only not good, but flatly evil, as being more.
Wait. Not only are we not good, we are flat out evil. That's fucked up. I like it. Here we go.
For the world is not good, as it is corruptible.
I said that.
Nor evil, as it is immortal.
I said that.
But man is evil, both as he is corruptible and as he is mortal.
I told you.
But the soul of man is carried in this manner. The mind is in reason, reason in the soul, soul in the spirit.
You see?
Spirit in the body.
You see?
The spirit being diffused and going through the veins and arteries and blood.
That's your spirit.
Both moves the living creature.
That's your spirit.
And after a certain manner causes it to live. Wherever some also have thought the soul to be blood, being deceived in nature.
Okay.
Not knowing that first the spirit must return into the soul. And then the blood is congealed. And then the blood is congealed. And the veins and arteries emptied. And then the living thing dies.
Yes.
And this is the death of the body.
Of the body.
All things depend of one beginning. And the beginning depends of that which is undivided and alone.
Yes.
And the beginning is moved, that it may again be a beginning.
I'm moved.
But that which is one stands and abides, and is not moved.
Source.
There are, therefore, these three.
Here we go.
God the Father.
We talked about this.
And the good.
Uh-huh.
The world.
Yep.
And man.
And man.
God has the world.
God the Father, which is good, the world, and man. We talked about this. God has the world has man has God. Here we go.
and the world has man, and the world is the Son of God, and man, as it were, the offspring of the world.
The fuck? Wait, stop, shit. The world is the Son of God. That would make sense since it's the second thing that came from things that are. See what I'm saying? That's why. That doesn't mean you're not a son. You're still a son too. That's the first made son before you got here for you to live upon. That's why it was first. Here we go. We second.
Ignorant of man, but knows him perfectly.
We second.
And will be known by him. This only is healthful to man and the knowledge of God. This is the return of Olympus.
What the fuck? Wait, stop. Sorry, I get turned. Shout out to Olympus. Everybody going to Greece looking for Olympus. I just told you what we just heard what the return of Olympus is. How to return into your God self and or your goddess self. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now. We almost done.
Yes, only the soul is made of good.
Yep.
And not sometimes good. And sometimes evil. But of necessity good.
Good.
He asked, what do you mean, O Father?
Listen.
I replied, consider, O Son, the soul of a child.
Listen.
When as it yet has received no dissolution of its body, which is not yet grown, but is very small. How then, if it looks upon itself, it sees beautiful, and not having been as of yet spotted with the passions of the body, but as it were depending yet upon the soul of the world.
Of the world.
But when the body is grown and distracts the soul, it engenders forgetfulness, and partakes no more of the fair and good. And forgetfulness is evilness.
Evilness.
The like also happens to them that go out of the body. For when the soul runs back into itself, the spirit is contracted into the blood, and the soul made into the spirit. But the mind, being made pure and free from these vestiges,
I'm out.
And being divine by nature,
I'm out.
Taking a fiery body,
I'm out.
Goes abroad in every place, leaving the soul to judgment and to the punishment it thus deserves.
Leaving the soul to judgment and the punishment that it most rightly deserves. So why in the fuck are people in church right now hoping that their soul don't go to hell? Everybody's soul gonna go to hell. The soul is part of the senses, is part of what is corrupted and corruption. So it needs to go into that shit. That ain't got nothing to do with you. That ain't got nothing to do with you. That's not who you are. You are not the senses. Remember, you are mind over matter. You're not matter. Leave matter to get judged and condemned like it should. Your mind. Mind has a fiery suit, like a seraphim. Seraphim are fiery beings. You see what I'm saying now? And I ain't talking about a lighter fire. Remember, we talked about this last time. We're talking about the bright blue, illuminating fire. That's your mind. All right? I know. We talked about this before in the Song of the Pearl. Remember? After you found your pearl, you went back home and put on your light vesture. Your light vesture is your fire that you wear. That's your vesture. That's your pretty clothes. All right? And you go wherever the fuck you want to go. Because you ain't tied to the body and you ain't tied to the soul no more. The body and the soul is going to do whatever they do in darkness. You ain't from darkness. You're from light. You were visiting here to spread seeds and have a dark experience with the soul and the body and have fun like you're on fucking vacation, and you didn't forget that you got to go home. Most people that come here, they forget that they got to go home. They try to make this their home, and that's where they fuck up. And it's that fucking simple. Here we go.
He asked, why do you say, O Father, that the mind is separated from the soul and the soul from the spirit?
Listen.
When even now you said the soul was the clothing or apparel of the mind and the body of the soul.
So Hermes is about to say this too, and this is what I expect from you guys. I expect y'all to think quicker than me. Listen to what I'm saying. I expect you to think quicker than me. Okay, if I make mistakes in this, I expect you to catch it before I do. Hermes is going to say it too. The hearer must be quicker than the speaker. All right? So that's why sometimes you see people speak on TV or speaking in public and you're like, oh, that wasn't right. That's fucked up, right? They didn't catch it. You go back and play it for them. They're like, oh man, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, but being that you're the hearer, you should realize that. All right? I'm just talking through what he's about to say.
I replied, oh son, He that hears must understand, and conspire in thought with him that speaks. Yes, he must have his hearing swifter and sharper than the voice of the speaker.
I just said that.
The disposition of these vestiges, or covers, is done in an earthly body.
Right.
For it is impossible that the mind should establish or rest itself naked,
nope,
and of itself as an earthly body. Mm-hmm. Neither is the earthly body able to bear such immortality.
So won't.
And therefore, that it might suffer so great virtue, the mind compacted, as it were.
Thank you, Mom.
And took to itself the passible body of the soul.
Thank you.
As a covering or clothing. And the soul, being also in some sort divine, uses the spirit as her minister or servant.
Yes.
And the spirit governs the living things.
Yes.
When therefore the mind is separated and departs from the earthly body,
right,
presently it puts on its fiery coat, which it could not do before, having to dwell in an earthly body.
That's your coat.
For the earth cannot suffer fire.
Nope.
For it is all burned of a small spark.
Sure will.
Therefore is the water poured round the earth, as a wall or a defense, to withstand the flame of fire.
So, this fire right here is stronger than the flame of fire. Okay? So all these minds on earth, they on fire. If you don't believe me, just check your temperature. God damn it, you over 97 degrees right now. You see what I'm saying now? So don't tell me that you walking around at 97 degrees or higher of fire and he's not telling the truth that the mind is fire. And that's your coat. It is. Here we go.
But the mind being the sharp or swift of all divine cognition, and more swift than all the elements, has the fire for its body.
So do.
For the mind, which is the workman of all, uses the fire as his instrument of his workmanship.
Yes.
And he that is the workman of all uses it to the making of all things.
Shout out to the workman. Look at my last name on my page. It's Work Tree. Shit, if you look at the last name on my birth certificate, it's Work Cuff. So when I found this shit, and I find out it's an angel of work, and I find out this is a workman, and this is in 2 different books written at 2 different times, I'm just saying how it corresponds to me. Sorry.
As it is used by man for the making of all earthly things only.
Yep.
For the mind that is upon earth, void or naked of fire, cannot do the business of men.
Nope.
Nor that which is otherwise the affairs of God.
You need some fire.
But the soul of man, and yet not everyone, but that which is pious and religious, is angelic and divine.
Whoop.
And such a soul, after it is departed from the body,
we out this bitch,
having striven the strife of piety, becomes either mind or God.
Yep.
And the strife of piety is to know God.
Yes.
And to injure no man.
Yes.
And this way it becomes mind.
Yep.
But the impious soul abides in its own offenses, punished by itself, and seeking an earthly and physical body to enter into.
Yep.
For no other body is capable of a mundane soul, neither is it lawful for a man's soul to fall into the body of an unreasonable living thing.
I told you.
For it is the decree of God to preserve a human soul from such a great reproach.
That's why you don't go into an animal. And shout out to Mundane. I'm the only child, but I had 2 cousins that were twins. That was my only family. And their last name was Mundane. I'm just letting you know. Why, when I found this shit in 2005, I was like, bro! And plus I was younger. I'm like, man, this is just for me. It's just for everybody that's listening to this. Because I hear this a lot. I think you were talking to me. Or you think that I was in your post and then you think that I'm saying something about you. And I'm not. I'm really not about anybody. It's just that I'm speaking from my mind, so it's going to automatically correlate to every single hearer that's speaking. Ain't got shit to do with me. Here we go.
He asked, how then is the soul of man punished, O Father?
Listen.
And what is its greatest torment?
Listen.
I replied, impiety, my son.
Yep.
For what fire has so great a flame as it? Or what biting beast does so tear the body as it does the soul? Or do you not see how many evils the wicked soul suffers?
Listen.
Roaring and crying out, I am burned, I am consumed. I know not what I say or do. I am devoured, unhappy wretch, of all the evils that surround and lay hold upon me.
Oh my God.
Miserable that I am, I neither hear nor see anything. These are the voices of a punished and tormented soul.
Yep.
And not as many. And you, O my son, think that the soul going out of the body grows brutish or enters a beast. which is a very great error. For the soul is rather punished after this manner.
Yep.
For the mind, when it is ordered or appointed to get a fiery body for the services of God, coming down into the wicked soul, torments it with the whips of its sins, with which the wicked soul, being scourged, turned itself to murders and lies and blasphemies and various violence and other things by which men are injured.
So, that mind is something else. So if that mind comes into a soul, like I said, that's already doing bad things, it's going to put far more upon it. And that's why I tell you guys, stop falling into these imaginations and fears of conspiracy theories, because it's going to spin you. And what your mind is going to start doing is saying, well, we should do something about it. Right? Like I said, I meet about 50 to 100 people a week. Don't think I don't meet Masons. You know, so I was talking to a Mason last week that I happen to have as a client. And everything was okay. Talking about peace, talking about bringing countries together, getting rid of immigration. You shouldn't have to jump through hoops to go to another side of the fucking earth. Period. And all of this stuff, you know, and how we're bringing societies and the worlds together, and he gets into black and white. I'm like, bro, like we talking about something bigger than that. He said, yeah, but you know damn well they can hear us right now. If they want to, they can come for us and our families. Now, at the beginning of the conversation, we was talking about how once we understand that all religions are connected and that we're all one, you know what I'm saying, that we can actually exist in love. But you have to fight with a different vibration and frequency. You don't fight with physical anything, with physical power. It's not how you win. But yet, you know me, I'm an exerciser. See where he really at. At the end of the conversation, all of a sudden, he says, nah, we need to go kill them white people and them policemen and them government officials just like they do us. What is that going to solve? What's it going to solve for you to put the truth out about all these conspiracies that you think you uncovered, that you really don't have no experience of? You just watch some YouTube videos and seen some posts. But did I argue with him? No. I told him you're right, and I understand your point of view. I do not believe in having guns or shooting or killing anybody, but I do understand what you're saying. Have a great day.
But into a pious soul, the mind enters, leads it into the light of knowledge. And such a soul is never satisfied with singing praises to God and speaking well of all men.
I'm not satisfied with singing these praises to God and speaking well of mankind. I would never be satisfied with singing these praises to God and saying the good in mankind. I would never be satisfied with speaking these kind of praises and words to God and saying the good in mankind, no matter how bad they are. As you just heard, I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's not for views. I make no money off of this. I don't give a fuck about how many people watch it or on my friends list. It's because I can't help it. We're almost done.
Both in words and deeds, always doing good, in imitation of her Father.
Yep.
Therefore,
Hold on. The soul is always directed towards doing good in imitation of her Father, because your soul is feminine. This is where the story of Psyche and Eros comes from. Wrap it up, Will.
We must give thanks and pray that we may obtain a good mind.
We must give thanks and pray. This sounds Christian. Why they call this a cult and it says give thanks and pray? Why do they call this a cult and it still talks about the word of God being a son of God? Why do they call this a cult and hearsay? We're talking about the same things that you churches and religions talk about. Sorry I get so triggered. We have people trying to kill Masons. We have people that's trying to kill us now, thinking that we're evil. And we're speaking the same thing that they're speaking and trying to put this out in society, not trying to hide it. But fine. We're willing to die for it, so come kill us if you think we're evil.
The soul, therefore, may be altered or changed into the better, but into the worse it is impossible. But there is a communion of souls, and those of gods communicate with those men,
yes,
and those of men with those of beasts.
Shout out to Mercury.
And the better always take of the worse.
Yes.
Gods of men, men of brute beasts,
We communicate with something lower. We communicate with beasts. We train dogs. We train animals. You see what I'm saying? We're higher than them. The gods do the same to us. That's why I say I'm the dog of Hermes. Yep, shit. When he say it's time, let's go, sick him, I'm going. It's not no question asked. If Hermes tells me to go, I go. When I first went live, I told you, Hermes came and told me, tell them. I said, I'm going to tell them.
But God for all, for he is the best of all, and all things are less than he.
Yep.
Therefore is the world subject unto God, man unto the world,
yep.
and unreasonable things to man.
See, the world is subject to God, we're subject to the world, and the beasts are subject to us. You see, it's not so much a hierarchy, it's a process.
But God is above all and about all.
Yeah.
And the beams of God are operations.
Yep.
And the beams of the world are natures.
Okay.
And the beams of men are arts and sciences.
So the beams of God is operation. The beams of earth is nature. The beams of mankind are arts and sciences. So we still got sunbeams and sun rays that we showing. We'll wrap it up. Sorry, I like the book. It's an awesome book. We're almost done. Here we go.
And operations do act by the world,
yes.
And upon man by the natural beams of the world.
Yes.
But nature's work by the elements. And man by arts and sciences.
And nature works by the elements. We still work by arts and sciences. That's how we work. Stop saying that arts and science is bad or different from religions and being awakened. It's all a working together, y'all. Here we go.
And this is the government of the whole.
This is the government.
Depending upon the nature of the one.
This is the government. What you just heard is the government. Okay, I shut up.
And piercing or coming down by one mind, than which nothing is more divine and more efficacious or operative.
Yes.
And nothing is more uniting.
Yes.
The communion of gods to men,
yes.
And of men to gods.
Yes.
This is the good mind.
Yes.
Blessed, happy soul that is the fullest of it.
Yes.
An unhappy soul that is empty of it.
Yes.
He asked, and how, Father?
How?
I replied, know, my son, that every soul has the good mind.
Yes.
For of it, that is what we now speak,
yep.
And not that of the minister of whom we said before,
you already got
that he was sent from the judgment.
You already got it.
For the soul without the mind can neither say nor do anything.
No.
For many times the mind flies away from the soul, and in that hour the soul neither sees nor hears, but it is like an unreasonable thing.
Yep.
So great is the power of the mind.
It's great.
But neither causes it to be idle or a lazy soul,
nope.
But leaves such a soul fastened to the body, and by it is pressed down. And such a soul, O son, has no mind. Wherefore, neither must...
Those are the ones that's lazy, pressed down, complaining, don't want to do nothing. They don't even have a mind. This is what Hermes is saying. And you know what he's about to say now? I hope somebody's watching this shit. Not only because I can't see who's watching. Not only do they not have a mind, he said they shouldn't even be called human. So let's call them reptilian then. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with calling them reptilian. I'm not okay with you calling us that have the light of the mind reptilian. Okay? With me there? All right.
Be called a man.
Told you.
For man is a divine living thing.
We are.
And is not to be compared to any brute beast that lives upon earth.
Man and woman.
But to call them that are above in heaven.
Yeah.
That are called the gods.
We are gods.
Rather, if we shall be bold to speak the truth.
Be bold.
He that is a man is indeed above them.
Above the gods.
Or at least they are equal in power one to the other.
Or at least we equal.
For none of the things in heaven will come down upon earth and leave the limits of heaven.
Okay.
But a man ascends up to heaven and measures it. And he knows
mankind ascends to heaven and measures it. You see that post that I posted with that human that's measuring? That's why you have the Masons that have that compass. We are allowed to measure the heavens, bro. Only the ones that have the light of mind. See, the masses want to go measure the heavens and they ain't even did the work to get the light of mind. Sorry. I'm sorry.
High and what is below. And learns all other things exactly.
We learned everything exactly.
And that which is the greatest of all.
Yep.
He leaves not the earth, and yet is above. So great is the greatness of his nature.
That's what we do.
Wherefore we must be bold to say that an earthly man is a mortal man.
Uh-oh.
And the heavenly God is an immortal man.
So the earthly man is the immortal God, and the immortal God is an earthly man. An earthly human is the immortal God or goddess, and a God or goddess is the is a mortal human. So why are we trying so hard to be immortal when we already immortal? Shut up, Will. I think they get it. Just they can re-listen. Let them just finish up.
For by these two things are all things governed, the world and man.
Yep.
But they and all things else of that which is singular.
Yes.
That God is not manifest.
Nope.
And yet is most manifest.
Yes, paradox. It's a paradox.
This discourse I will also make to you.
Hold on. That's next. That's next. The next discourse is next. That's next. It's not a debate. It's a discourse. That's why you didn't hear Tat really arguing with him. He brought up a point, but he didn't argue because it's not a debate. It's a discourse. We got about a month coming up till the big debate and the big vote. As far as speaking for myself, we should never have debates. Your kids shouldn't be in debate. You shouldn't have been in debate. You should have been in discoursing. I'm a private citizen. Everybody, the people that do this are private citizens. They're not part of the masses. We don't debate because we ain't got nothing to argue with. We talking about truth. It's not nothing to argue with. We've already walked through the symposium by Plato where you had different, very knowledgeable philosophers that you still hear about nowadays at one table with Socrates, all discoursing over the same subject of love, yet not fighting, yet not arguing, yet not debating. I'm talking about discoursing. And until we get into discoursing, we won't reach the places that we're trying to reach. Be done. I'm done. I'm done. Because I go all day, bro. Like, for real. So I thank you so much for listening. Who's ever watching. I hope somebody watched. I don't like to see my comments and I cover them up because they have an effect on me. Like if I see somebody say, fuck you, I hate your live videos, all of a sudden as I'm going live, I'm like, and by the way, fuck you too. You know, I've done that in the past, so I don't even look at them at all. I used to look at comments all the time. Shout out to people in comments like the other live streamers do, but it got my focus off and made my live videos way too long. And I know your attention span is getting shorter and shorter by the day and by the minute. So I try to keep it short and sweet for you. All right. Again, I hope you enjoyed this. I know it was a little long. I know I said I'd be short, but shit, I am who I am and I don't control this shit. Mine does. Next week, we'll be going live over Siddhartha. It's the chapter of awakening. It's when he go through his awakening, he realized the things that we talked about last time with Gautama and the things that we talked about before that with him saying, what is the meaning of this path? What is the meaning for anything? I get drunk and be in whorehouses and reach the same place of the heights of thinking. He's going to awaken and realize I was tripping. I can't do that. I need to do this. And I need to focus on self because he was trying to, lose himself so hard. He's meditating, he's fasting. Those are ways that you're trying to get outside of yourself. That's why people get drunk and eat a lot so they can forget themselves for a while. And he said the point is that I need to find myself. That's the point. Not try to get away from myself. He said not try to break apart myself and damn near kill myself and fasting for 6 months. I just need to learn myself. So he's going to go on a path to learning himself. And then after that, which is next month, we're going to go over where he meets his girlfriend named Kamala. Shout out to Kamala Harris. No, fuck Kamala Harris, bro. No, this is the one that's so fuck her and, you know, she cool. I'm immortal and mortal. So I got 2 point of views of, you know what I'm talking about. But the 1 point of view is that it's all good. And then after that, we will be going back into the Christian series. We are done with this scene. Part of the Christian series because that's not a Essene series. That is a Christian series that I included some Essene chapters in it. So we're getting back to the books, other books that's banned from the Bible. The next book that we're going live over, I went live over before, and this is where Jesus actually shows Satan to the 12 disciples. I know. And he tried to tell the 12 disciples, hey, if I uncover the earth and show you Satan, bro, I'm telling y'all gonna fall dead. Nah, Jesus, fuck that. Let us see him. He's like, all right. Boom. They show him Satan, bro. All of them fall dead. He had to bring them back up from the dead. The only one that didn't fall dead was Bartholomew. So I'm talking about Bartholomew. So shout out to Bart Simpson. The signs are all in front of you. That's my favorite disciple is Bartholomew. But anyway, I love y'all so much, and I hope you enjoy your Sunday. I hope you enjoyed your week last week. I hope you enjoy your week this week. It's October. Whew, it's getting cold. So please stay warm. Please make sure your kids stay warm. And shout out to, well, not shout out, but my prayers and thoughts seriously go through to everyone that was not only affected by the most recent hurricane, but any hurricane that's happened, because it's easy to sit back and conspiracy theory and all that about it, but once that motherfucker blow your house, it's a whole different feeling. All right. So I love y'all so much. Please continue to calm down your fears. Even though the government conspiracy stuff is funny, don't think it doesn't make me laugh, because it's funny. But don't get too deep in it. I will include the link of the audiobook in the comments. I will also include the link that is word for word that matches this audiobook, so you can read it and read along with it if you want to, or you can just listen to it, or you can just read it, or you can just listen to me. I'm so stupid. Anyway, I love y'all so much. And yeah, I think that's all I got. I'll see y'all next week, all right?